Brother Terry asked me what the title of the lesson was going to be on, and I told him multitasking. Multitasking. Hopefully I can get into what I'm saying here about multitasking. Several years ago, I met a man, I won't call his name, but I learned to love that man in a Christian way. He was a good, hard-working man. He worked at the railroad, and the last couple of years, I didn't work as a mechanic. I worked in the safety office, and then I went from there to the coat shop the last year before I retired. And I met this man. I knew of him, but I just hadn't never been around him. And there's a lot of people that worked at the railroad that you didn't know, isn't that right, David? I mean, you work around for 30 and 40 years. I worked 39 and a half years, and there's a lot of people went through their transportation and different places that I just didn't get to meet people. You know, I was confined to where I was at. But when I moved my last year down to the coat shop, I would have to take mail and stuff over to the back shop, which is right across the track in a pit. And this man I'm going to talk about this morning, he was a good, hard-working man. He was a single man, never got married, and he could retire, I reckon, 5 or 6 years earlier than what he anticipated doing. But I was 60 years old retiring, and he was a lot older than me. I imagine he was probably 70 then. And I told him, I said, you need to go ahead and retire. He said, I'm going to, I plan on doing it, and I got to get a few things squared away, and then I'm going out. And he didn't make it. He walked out of his house one day, and he was still working. He walked out of his house and fell over dead, just that quick. And I got thinking about his funeral. It impressed upon me what was said during the funeral that I went to. It told all about him having cars, fancy cars and sailboats, and the obituary said he had a dog that he really enjoyed. And all this, I was sitting there listening to that, and I got comparing my life, how quick it is. Our life is quick. Used to, 85 and 80 was old, but it's not so old now. I mean, I'm almost 70, and his brother David's past 70, and Bert's 70, and a lot of us are getting up in age, and we don't think about getting old.
I do.
Well, when you start getting older, you do, don't you? And it starts to wear upon you. And I got to think about all that and compare my life to it, but we in such a hurry mode that we need to just stop. And the old saying, we'll smell the roses, that I brought about, but we need to just slow down a notch. We are getting older, and we're going to have to live with it, but if you get caught by a train, what do you want to do? Go around that train. I know every one of these underpasses in Waycross. And if you want, you go to Walmart, they go now to they scanning stuff. They got putting new machines in there. You're gonna have to scan what you're gonna get, except for a couple hours that like they had in the past. So we're gonna have to learn how to scan things to buy stuff at Walmart. If you're gonna get through the fast lane, and that's what we want. We want the fast lane, yeah. If you would turn to James chapter 4, we want us to think about, we just need to slow down a notch or two. Because, you know, when a big business, when something like the railroad or something like that, big business, they try to plan 5 years ahead, right, Brother David? And I can't comprehend how they do that, but businesses are trying to think in the future, 4 or 5 years, how to run the company to profit and make money. And that's the way we are in our life. We don't think about the future that much, but we just in a hurry right now. And that's why I named this lesson multitasking. Multitasking is when you do 2 or 3 things. That's a fairly new word, I guess, in the computer age, but in our computers, we can multitask. We can do 3 or 4 things at a time, can't we? And that's what we're trying to do And the Bible is telling us that we need to just slow down a notch or two. Brother Virgil, will you read James chapter 4 real loud, starting with verse 13 and go through 16? James chapter 4, 13 through 16. Let's just think about how that we need to not worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to take care of itself.
Alright, go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go in such a city and continue there a year, and buy and sell, and get gain. Whereas you know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor, that perisheth for a little time, and then vanish. For ye that ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live, and do this or that. But now you rejoice in your subject, all such rejoicing is evil.
All right? Go to now, today, tomorrow we will go to such a city. You can't really say that. You don't really know if you're going to be able to do that or not. And it says in verse 14, where you know not shall be on tomorrow. Do you know what's going to happen tomorrow? Absolutely not. We have no idea. The whole world could be gone, like that. We don't know what, but he says our life is as a vapor, It was foggy the other morning, and I watched the sun start coming up from the east. My bay window points toward the east, and I looked east, and there's a little mist, a little fog across the field out there that the guy owns. And I watched that sun, it started peeping up, and that fog started just going away. Well, that's the way our life is. We here and we gone. Thought about steam pipes. At the shops, we had those old steam pipes, and you go to Brunswick, and those factories have steam coming out of them, or smoke, and it's just gone. It's there for just a short while, and then it dissipates and it's gone. And that's the way our life is. And he tells us in the Bible that we go that our life is like a vapor. It's just quick, and so we need to just stop and slow down and enjoy today. The Bible says today is the day that what? The Lord hath made, and rejoice and be glad in it, or happy. I think it says glad. So we need to just stop and think about how quick. Somebody said something? Those steam pipes is a good example how it's just there and it's gone. Or I can boil peanuts and that steam. You can put I didn't know you could do this till a few years back. You can take a wooden spoon, and then if you're boiling something, you take a wooden spoon, put it on, and it won't boil over. I don't know what that wooden spoon does, but y'all may have done that. I don't know, but I watched Janice do that when they put a wooden spoon up there and it didn't boil over. But that's how quick our life is. Just like that steam, it's here and it's gone. Job made this statement. He said, man is born of woman is what? Few days. Job knew something about how quick life would be there. The Bible says that to number our days. What does it mean to number your days? If you number your days, what are you doing?
You make them count.
Huh?
You make them count.
Make every second count. Time marches on. You can say what is what, and shortly that little minute hand will be going around 5 times. It'll be 5 minutes gone. We need to take the time that God has given us and utilize that time in a way that will be glorifying to God. So man that is born of woman is a few days, and that's what that means. So we need to slow down and not to. We're all appointed to die, every one of us. Now, when it is, I told Brother Leach in there, Terry, I was talking to him earlier, and I told him, I said, and I think David was in there, I've seen graves this big. It doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are, when God is appointed for every one of us to die. It may be 100 years old, it may be 13 years old, but it's a time comes, and I don't understand all that. why God takes certain ones and all this and all, but he does, it's appointed for us to die. It says in Hebrews 9:27, it is appointed in men that wants to die, but after this the judgment. So Christ was once offered to bear sins of many, and to them that look for him shall be appeared a second time without sin unto salvation. Adam and Eve, did they die? Yeah. How many lived? 969 years, I believe it was, Adam did. Almost as old as Methuselah, which was the oldest man at that time in the Bible. And I don't know if anybody lived over 900 years today, you know. But even that, 969 years is a short time. And you get to compare it. Go ahead. Over in Psalms 23, we read about that it speaks of the shadow of death. But the rose of Sharon will be with you. Who is the rose of Sharon? Jesus Christ. Even at times of troubles and times of death, the Bible teaches over in Solomon about the rose of Sharon. Be right there with you. You know, all roses have a thorn. All roses have a thorn. And you and I, we look to that rose, Jesus Christ, but it's an easy road to follow, isn't it? No. There's thorns in that rose. And a lot of times we have troubles, that's the thorns in life. We have troubles and trials and tribulations and problems. And then the rose of Sharon is right there with you, even with those thorny times that you have. We need to slow down over in Exodus 14. Brother David, do you read 10 through 13 on 14th chapter of Exodus? This is talking about when the children of Israel come out of Egyptian bondage, and they was told to just wait on the Lord. Stand still and just wait on the salvation of God. In Exodus 14, starting from verse 10 through 13, Brother David.
And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. And they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord, and they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to have served the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. And Moses said unto the people,
That's what he said now.
fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom thou hast seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever.
They told them to y'all just slow down a minute, stand still, and you're going to see the deliverance or salvation of God. And they wanted, what did they want to do? They want to go do something else. They want to go back to Egypt and get those onions and cucumbers and all them things back there. And they said, there ain't no graves in Egypt. That was a big lie. They were putting all that in their minds. There were plenty of graves in Egypt. But they were just ready to here and yonder. They need to slow down. What Moses said, just stand still a minute. Slow down a minute. Get out of your hurry mode and think about what God's going to do for you. Did God take care of the problem? Absolutely. They were hungry out there, they got fed. They was murmuring and complaining and all this. And Moses had a pretty hard job, but I'm going to tell you now. There was millions of them out there, and he had a problem. He had a big time problem. Almost had a nervous breakdown, I imagine. But he's telling them, y'all quit being afraid. Don't fear what man can do unto you. Just stand still and wait on the Lord. Wait on the Lord. Job gets, there's some scriptures over there that's talking about that how quick our life is. First things first, we need to just get out of that hurry mode and think about the blessings that God has given us. He says over in James 4:14, we done read it, life is a vapor. He says in Job 7:6, it's like a weaver shuttle. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that is. Some of y'all may know what a weaver shuttle is, but evidently it's pretty fast, whatever it is. Life is like a weaver shuttle in Job 7:6. It's like a handbreadth, it says. So life is quick, and it's gone before you even think about it too much here. If you would, turn to Luke chapter 10. Janice, I want you to think about this woman in particular, that she just didn't have time to do everything. Didn't seem like she did. But she did have plenty of time, but she didn't utilize what God had told her the best part was to do. In Luke 10:38, start with there and read through 42, Janice. I want you to think about these two women now, and tell me which one just slowed down and put things first and foremost of what she should have done. Okay?
Now it came to pass as they went that he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was cumbered about much serving, and came to him and said, Lord, dost thou not care that my sister hath left me to serve alone? Bid her therefore that she help me. And Jesus answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things, but one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part which shall not be taken away from her.
Now here they was going through a village, and a certain woman named Martha received Jesus into her house, and they said, and Mary was at Jesus' feet. And here Martha was, I assume it was in the kitchen there. She was making food and serving. And she was kind of cumbered, it says. In other words, she was troubled. That's what cumbered means. She was troubled about something. And she's saying, I need some help, basically, in this kitchen. I've got to serve. And there Mary is at Jesus' feet. Now, which one was doing the right thing? Huh? Mary was.
Mary would please the Lord.
Mary was pleasing the Lord. He said all this other stuff to be took care of later. Now, she was in a hurry mode. She had to get the kitchen fixed. She had to get the dishes washed. She had to do this. But where she should have been was with Mary at Jesus' feet. We get in too big a hurry, don't we? And our life is quick. And we need to utilize every moment that will be pleasing to God. And I'm going to say that Mary was pleasing God by doing what she put Jesus first. Well, the Bible tells us plainly to seek ye first the kingdom, and all these other things will be took care of. So we need to slow down, smell the roses, and don't do all this multitasking. I'm going to do this now and this at the same time, and this at the same time, and this at the same time. Do one thing at a time. And slow down and serve God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Don't multitask. Now, life's too quick. Use the time that God has given you. And we got a lot to do. And then if you do all that, you'll enjoy the kingdom now. This life is going to be gone in a few years. I was looking at a tape measure. I won it, or somebody gave it to me or something. I can't remember. But anyway, it's a big tape measure, a long tape measure. And I pulled it out yesterday, and I was visualizing each inch would be a year in my life. And I took the first inch. I was 1 year old. I took that thing and I pulled it out to 70. And then I bent it down and I dropped 1 through 70 out. And there I was from 70 to 80, 10 inches. That was how much time if I lived to be an old person, that's how much time I got left. And 10 more years, it'd be like this. if I live and you live. But time marches on. And we don't want to hear that, do we? We don't want to hear that. But we're just passing through here. Your life is like a vapor. It's quick. Take the time that God has given you now and then serve Him and enjoy the kingdom while you're here. Thank God we have a place that He's going to take us to, eternal heaven. When we do die, you know, and we all going to die, it's the point for man to die. And when we do die, thank God that we got an eternal heaven. We're going to be with the Lord forever. Those are just some thoughts I had. I know I didn't bring it out right, but we need you to be like Mary, be at Jesus' feet. You ain't anybody there? You dismiss?